What up, everybody? It's Jason doing a little care package a go here with Garrett Car Cutter. His care package he sent me. I still got a plethora of cars to go through. I'm going to try to be a little bit quick about it, unless there's somebody I really want to talk about. I just kind of want to have this out there just to say thanks to Garrett. We have Lillian Garcia. These are stickers. Never heard of this girl here, Summer Ray. Emma Ivory. I do know Ivory. She did an interview with CVV, Chris Van Vliet, a couple months ago, maybe 6 months ago. It was actually pretty good. Learned a lot about her. We got Christian, aka Christian Cage, over on the Dub. AE Dub. Tonight it's on Friday night at 10 o'clock, 10 to 12. I think it's tonight. I know one night they're moving to Saturday. I think today's Friday though. But yeah, Christian Cage. We got some dude here, Darren Young, Adam Rose. Never heard of some of these dudes. Curtis Axel sounds vaguely familiar. Bill Demott. Don't know. We got Jack Swagger, baby. Now he goes by Jake Hager. Man, I really think with AEW, man, he really needs to. He's a big dude. I mean, I really feel like he is not being utilized the best he can. I mean, ever since he came over, he had a couple little soirees with a few people, but he just kind of like, I feel like he plays second fiddle in the inner circle with Chris Jericho. I don't know. I wish they would do more with Jake Hager. I feel like he's a much better wrestler than they give him credit for. But I'm a big fan of Jake Hager. I need to see him and Wardlow battle some more. We got Sin Cara, who's been recently released from WWE. I would like to see him show up in AEW because they already have a pretty legit high flyer cadre of people. That's the right word. You know, they have Ray Phoenix, they have Matt Sydal, they have Top Flight. Who else do they have? They have the Young Bucks, I guess you could say. They have the Varsity Blondes. I'm sure I'm leaving out some people. I mean, you know, there's a bunch of guys out there who just are great flyers, and Sin Cara would be one of those, another great one. Then we got Jerry the King Lawler. It's amazing how much how long he's been in wrestling. I mean, the dude's been around since what, the late '60s, I believe, early '70s, and still just, you know, shows up from time to time. Great. Terry Funk from the Funkadelics. Just kidding. Great hardcore wrestler. You know, whenever he was wrestling in the '80s, I really knew him more as kind of like the hillbilly cowboy type person. Hey, what up, dude? I don't really, you know, I think him and his brother, I think, was wrestling, and then I don't know. I never really got much. I really never connected with Terry Funk. He almost always played a heel, if I remember correctly. But anyways, he kind of had like a second life as a hardcore wrestler later on. Like, it really took off like an ECW. Then we have Cameron, don't know her. Titus O'Neil, man, whatever. He came. A lot of these, like I said, I've said this 1,000 times. I'm sure I'll say it again. A lot of these wrestlers came from a time I never really paid attention to all wrestling. So, you know, I feel like this is Jeff Hardy or Matt Hardy. All you do is see some pants, some pantalones. Even Trish, and I do remember them. Here we got some leg drop or something. I don't know what this is. And here, I don't know, here's somebody else is a part of somebody. Then we got here, I know who this is, Chris Benoit. This is a very shiny one. You know, I don't really like to talk a lot about Chris Benoit considering, you know, he's a scumbag murderer. So, but, you know, it is what it is. There's another pair of pants. I don't know who this guy is. He looks like he is wearing a turban or like something on his head. I can't make out what he's supposed to. I don't know what that's supposed to be, but again, it's 2001, so WWE, God knows what that's all about. That looks like Chris Jericho right there, and it looks like It looks like Kurt Angle is dropping Chris Jericho, getting ready to drop him on his head. That's what that looks like. Then we got some Kurt Angle's hanging there, grabbing Jericho by the junk. Then here's another one. Here's the bottom shot of him. There you go. So there you go. And then we got John Cena and The Rock. We got John China. CCP me. You can't CCP me. Oh, this guy here is bootlicker. Piece of garbage. Then we got John Cena and Triple H. That's like a in real life, like in real time, of John Cena jumping off the top rope into his piles of Chinese money. That's what that is right there. That is an actual shot of him just jumping into a bunch of just piles of money like Scrooge McDuck. Then we got Stephanie McMahon. Whatever. Undertaker, Triple H. There you go. This is, I guess, when Undertaker. I see. This is again stuff I don't remember. Where he shaved his head and gave himself like a mohawk or something, or shaved his head. Oh, there you go. There's him and Brock Lesnar. I guess shaved his head completely. Yeah. This I don't really, like I said. I've said this, again, I've said this multiple times. But I don't watch WWE hardly at all. I watch like recap shows. There's a channel I watch out of, I guess, England, maybe Scotland. It's called What Culture Wrestling on YouTube, and they're really good about just giving you a break down of each episode. So if you kind of want to keep up on what's going on with WWE, I just watch that. You can watch it 20-minute show, 15-minute show, boom, you're done. You got all the information you need. I'll watch SmackDown because it's on, free Fox TV. I'll check it out once in a while, but I'm not really like married to the idea of watching it, that's for sure. Money in the Bank. Cena Money in the Bank. Here we got Shawn Michaels giving Big Show some sweet chin music. Because he ain't gonna reach that high up to kick him in the actual head. Big Show. I have a feeling Big Show and Mark Henry are gonna start to do some battling in AEW, so I'm super pumped about that. I do not watch Hollywood wrestling. I don't even know what that is, Henry. We got Dolph Ziggles. I like Dolph Ziggler. I feel like he's super underrated as a wrestler. I feel like they never gave him his true chance to really give him a push, for sure. There we go. Everybody's favorite belt, the Diva Butterfly belt. Back when they were called Divas, which I guess that's no longer acceptable. Then we got the Regal stretch. We got William Regal. He has Chris Jericho in the stretch. William Regal, and also I believe is pretty underrated as a wrestler. He plays a good guy, but he plays a great heel. I really like it. But yeah, I like William Regal. Then we got a neck breaker. I can't tell who that is. Maybe Randy. I don't know. I can't tell. That says neck breaker. Neck breaker. The kill switch. Now that's Christian. I know that. And like I said, before WWE, I never watched. Before AEW, I never really watched Christian because again, Christian was a wrestler during the Attitude Era. Towards the middle of that, afterwards. I just didn't watch a whole lot of, but I do like him at AEW. But again, I understand, like, I kind of probably missed a lot of his real coming into his own and his coming into the wrestler he was known to be. But I like him as the wrestler he is now. I mean, he's probably in his mid-40s at least, maybe closer to 50. But he looks great for that being that old, and he's still running there with the big boys, big boys. That's cool. You have a picture with you and Big Show. Nice. And then here we have, it looks like R-Truth with Cesaro. It says kicking out. Maybe that's not R-Truth. I don't know. It looks like R-Truth. But I'm pretty sure that's Cesaro. Because Cesaro used to come to the ring with his head like not fully shaved. So he had the full balding top and then like the halo thing around, which I'm like, if I was bald, dude, I just shave it all off, man. I wouldn't do the. Thank God I'm already fat, so I don't want to be fat and bald. So thank God the Lord and what good genes I do have let me have a full head of hair, because that would be even a million times worse. But it's like if I would have had my head bald or going bald, I'd just be like zip, 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 shave it all off all the time, so that way I don't have to worry about it. And we got who is Stone Cold Steve Austin with Michael P.S. Hayes. This looks like where Stone Cold kind of became Stone Cold with the whole Stone Cold 316 or whatever. It looks like that's where this was. I think King of the Ring 1998 or 7 or whatever. I can't remember exactly when that happened, but so there you go. Then we got the Superfly Jimmy Snooker. It's kind of crazy. Like if you watch his story, like I think they had like kind of like a behind Dark Side of the Ring, or there's some documentary about it recently. Maybe it was on the, I can't remember. Maybe it was on the Macho Man behind the or Dark Side of the Ring. But apparently he might have killed his ex-girlfriend back in like 1980. I don't know, on purpose, on accident, whatever. And then he got off the hook. Like it was like the weirdest thing. It just like they were like Vince McMahon and his team of lawyers showed up at wherever it happened, and just said they talked to the local officials, and then they just said, okay, he can go, and it just was fine. He just went about his way. And I'm like, how does that happen? How does somebody dies and with you there, and you just get to go home, no questions asked? Mean Gene Okerlund, one of the best commentators on the mic, interviewers out there, man. I just love Mean Gene. Let me tell you here something, Mean Gene. And then we have George the Animal Steel. So I liked him a lot. I remember he had a whole thing with like the Beauty and the Beast feeling with Miss Elizabeth and Randy Macho Man Savage. Ooh, yeah. Randy Macho Man Savage. So yeah, that was a good one right there. Yeah, Christian's finally on his own. So it's good. But it's funny because if you ever watch BTE, which is like the Young Bucks YouTube channel that they do once a week, Matt Hardy's on there, and like Matt Hardy makes some statements like on AEW Dark or Elevation, maybe even on the main program on Dynamite. But usually on BTE, they have like a little segment where he's on there. Man, he goes sideways in on Christian, talking about that his partner's a scumbag, and everything Christian and his partner has done is all based off of things that he already did with his brother years before, and that they're the real trailblazer. They just come up and just like reap the rewards of what the Hardy Boys did. I mean, it's hilarious. Like he shoots on him so hard. So I know that's a match that's getting ready to happen. It's about to happen because every time there's a microphone in front of Matt Hardy's face, he's like running Christian down. So it'll be interesting to see how that happens. Oh yeah, Cream rises up. Ooh yeah, Cream always rises to the top, Mean Gene. I like how he just keeps pulling it out. Like he's just like, ooh yeah, it's Cream. It rises to the top. Yeah. We got Greg the Hammer Valentine, baby, the Hammer. Dude, this guy, I mean, this is one of the few guys out in wrestling. If you ever see him do like an interview, him just being his normal self, like you honestly get the feeling that he would probably just destroy anybody. Well, maybe not now, he's an old man, but I mean, even as an old man, he feels like he would just like rip people apart. Like, I mean, he just looks like he does not care. Like the way he even talks about how he wrestled stiff, which in wrestling terms, wrestling stiff means you wrestled without pulling back your punches and kicks and throws. Like you kind of just wrestled pretty hard. Like you kind of got in there and was like hitting hard. Like you weren't like, it wasn't as much of a, play as it was, as much as it was more based in like a little bit more reality. And I mean, he talks about him playing wrestling stiff. Like he said, you know, he was fine with that. So that's pretty interesting to hear. So yeah, I always like Greg the Hammer Valentine. I thought it was super cool. Barry Windham. I mean, I know the name. I know I've seen him before, but I can't really put my finger on a lot of some of the stuff he did. Then we got Double A, Arn Anderson, who is a now manager for talent at AEW. Double A, dude. Again, I remember him being with Tully Blanchard and then like Ric Flair during the whole like Four Horsemen stuff. But Double A, dude, was legit, dude. Again, he's another one of those guys I feel like he got his hands on you in real life. Like he wasn't just like a wrestler for the acting and for telling the story, you know, which, you know, he did it more because he was like, you know, he could really hurt you. I mean, that's the impression you get. Oh, I just brought him up. Ric Flair. Woo! I mean, everybody, you have to do it. I mean, it's like, what you just have to do it. So Ric Flair, never been a big Ric Flair fan. Always thought he was super overrated. I mean, you know, he's legendary because of like his longevity and all the titles and how he would defend them, you know, from territory to territory back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And how he would sell, you know, he almost always was a heel. And he would have matches with, you know, anybody. They have great matches, but it's because Ric Flair was like had no ego about, you know, getting whooped up on in the ring and kind of putting people over, which of course was a big deal, you know, but he almost always came up on top too because he was like a huge, you know, big time champion. But I just was never a big fan of it. I mean, you know, I felt like he didn't really have a lot to offer. He had a few wrestling moves, but I really, you know, that he did. But I mean, he was way more about the facials and about selling his opponents, you know, offense than I thought was that what he was really doing. I mean, slaps, the strut. I think he did the whole like, you know, flip upside down on the turnbuckle type stuff. You know, I don't know. I felt like he was more of a comedic, even though that wasn't what his intention was. I felt like he was more of a comedic wrestler than he was a serious wrestler because the stuff he was always doing, like, you know, heelish type things, like interfering and all that. Yeah, you're right about Ric Flair's girlfriends. Then we got Eddie Guerrero. Kind of same with him. You know, Eddie Guerrero was cool. I liked Eddie Guerrero just fine. I remember him being more on WCW than I did on WWE. Excuse me. But I wasn't like a huge fan of his. I think I mentioned this before. If I was talking about the Latino heat, I was thinking more like Conan was my guy. Then we got Ziggles right here. Dolph Ziggler, like him, his brother Ryan Nemeth is over on AEW. He apparently started out with WWE back in the day. They had like a developmental program that he was involved in, but he never really moved anywhere. He probably got the offer because his brother was, you know, pretty big, you know, in the over WWE. But he kind of goes by the name of the Hollywood Hunk over in AEW. Ryan Nemeth. You can definitely tell their brothers they look alike, pretty similar. But he never was out of his brother's shadow. It's kind of like what Shaw Guerrero would say about being Eddie Guerrero's daughter. Like when she went over there to wrestle, it was more about her being like a Guerrero more than it was about her being, you know, really good in the ring or having the ability to start like, you know, training and, you know, preparing. So it is what it is. But I like Dolph Ziggler. Like I said earlier, I just feel like he kind of got taken, you know, never got to really be used. Here we got Bo Dallas, was also recently released. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Bo Dallas in real life is the brother of Bray Wyatt, if I'm not mistaken, the real life brother of Bray Wyatt. And then I believe they're Barry Windham's kids. And again, I could be wrong about that, but I think they're second generation wrestlers. I want to say Barry Windham's their dad, but I could be wrong. But Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas, I believe, are legitly their brothers. Then we got Brock Lesnar. Sorry. I've never been impressed by Brock Lesnar. I'm just like, whatever. I mean, he's definitely a behemoth. He's definitely a tough hombre. But it is what it is. I never was like overtly like, oh my gosh, bro. I just felt like he was one of those guys who truly let you know he was all about the money. He didn't care about the fans. He didn't care about the gimmick. He didn't care about, putting people over. He didn't care about doing business. He was just all about just what's the paycheck? And okay, I'll come and do it. And I mean, I understand at the end of the day, it's a business. Everybody's there to get paid. I 100% understand. But you can tell he, at least from what I know, he was the least interested in doing anything for anyone aside for himself. So there you go. So we got a pair of pants, a pair of slacks, and then here we have looks like Christian and Edge flipping somebody over, doing a old toss there. I don't know who that is. It's about blonde hair. It looks like. I can't really make it out, but there you go, Christian and Edge. I don't know what this is, but it looks like the Godfather's in there and Val Venus and some. I think that's Ivory, but it looked like the Men in Black over here with the black pants and the shirts and the ties all tucked in, looking all business professional. Never seen this before. I don't know what this is. I'm just obviously some sort of faction or some sort of group. But of course, it was back in the WWF days. You see the microphones in WWF. So I don't know. And let's see what else we have here. We have, I think this is Jericho getting slammed by somebody. I'm not for sure who that is. And then we have a hip toss. I can't tell who that is. It looks like Al Snow, kind of. Maybe he's tossing Perry Saturn, it looks like, maybe. I can't tell who those wrestlers are. And then we have, I'm not for sure who that is, but somebody's getting a German suplex. I think that's called a German suplex. Sorry if I'm wrong. I'm sure somebody will correct me if they're a Wrasslin fan. And let's see who we have here. I don't know who this is. Somebody's doing like a somersault off the top turnbuckle, looks like. And we got China. Oh, China, Joni Lautner. She's kicking. It looks like she's kicking Christian or Edge in the face. That's what it looks like. She had a time where her and Jericho were like kind of partners, and she was an IC Intercontinental Champion. I'm not a big fan of. Well, I'm not a fan at all of intergender wrestling, because I already know you already have to suspend disbelief as it is. A lot of times when you're watching wrestling, and I totally understand that and I get that, but you really have to suspend it unless it's somebody like China, that you really have to suspend it if like a 5'2" girl is taking on literally like a 6'3", dude. It just doesn't. It's not real. I mean, I understand everybody wrestling. People will say, well, wrestling's, people who don't know say wrestling's fake. Well, the outcome might be predetermined, but wrestling is real. Those people really put themselves out there, and they really get hurt, and they really can be injured, and obviously people have died in the ring. So when people say, well, it's all, you should let women in there and let them wrestle with men, and I'm like, for the very reason that people die in the ring or get seriously injured, like think of draws. That's two men wrestling that are like big old beefy beefcakes. And so when you have that, people say, well, some like chick that's like 5'3" and 108 pounds should get in there and wrestle some like 6'2" dude that's like 200 something pounds solid muscle, like 230 solid muscle. It's like, dude, come on, man. Let's be real. Let's be real. One, there's no scenario where that girl's gonna win, and if she does win, what does that say about the dude? And also, the chance of that person getting hurt is so highly impossible. So for me, it's not any fun to watch that type of stuff. I don't like to watch it because you already suspend disbelief a lot of times to watch wrestling in the first place. I don't want to get into a realm of ridiculousness that takes you even further out of what wrestling can be based in, somewhat of the reality that things can happen. I love Billy Gunn. Henry said I didn't see some of these questions. Billy Gunn's in AEW. Love Billy Gunn. Not a big fan of his two sons that are there. Also, Austin and Colton Gunn, I think. But Billy Gunn's awesome. I think he's great. Obviously, he's huge. From D-Generation X, and he's part of those like the cowboy group in the early '90s or something. I can't remember the name of the group, but the Original Outlaws or something like that. But I like Billy Gunn. I mean, he is huge. I mean, he's in better shape now than he ever been in his own life. He's in probably better shape than most of the people on the roster at AEW, which is crazy. I mean, the dude's like 57, I think. For sure. Yeah, I mean, I know there are certain promotions, Chris, that the intergender wrestling is really popular. But I feel like, I mean, as a dude, I feel like other dudes that get really excited about girls getting thrown around and beat up on and slammed and slapped around, like, you whatever. I mean, I'm not here to tell people, what's acceptable or is not acceptable, but it's just for me personally, it's not something I'm into. I don't need to see a woman get slapped around, thrown around. And I mean, like, when a woman manager or even another woman wrestler interferes in a match, that's one thing because again, like it's playing to the story. But I don't want the man to come out or somebody else and like whoop up on a girl, even if she just interfered in a match. But when it's set up for an actual match, I just don't want to see that. I just don't personally. I just doesn't do anything for me. I don't know. I mean, one, I just don't like it because I don't know. I mean, that's just like, I don't think it even has to be about how I grew up. It's just the right thing to do. I don't care if it was from the 70s, 80s, 90s, or today. I just feel like it's just bad form to encourage that type of behavior. So I don't know. Like I said, it's whatever. It's above my pay grade, I would like to say. But with all that being said, if the person's like China, if the woman's like 6'2" and ripped, and she can handle herself, then maybe it's a different situation. But there's probably going to only be one China. We all know that. There's probably going to be very few women that would equal that level. Now, there is a lady over in AEW. She's not 6'2", but she's probably 5'10", 5'11", I bet. Her name's Jade Cargill, and she is way ripped. Like, there is probably not an ounce of fat on her body. She feels like she could dominate dudes. Like, she could get away with it. Now, do I want to see that? No. But, I mean, it would be a realistic situation to put her in there with a guy that's her size or smaller. That would be at least like, okay, I can, like, see this could kind of take place in some realm of reality. But do I want to see a man, smacking a woman around in the ring? No. I don't care even if the woman can handle herself in real life. It's just not a thing I want to see personally. I don't find that entertaining. Like when I watch horror movies and grindhouse movies and exploitation films, when women are being, in like these really compromising situations because it's always about that. I don't like watching scenes like that. I usually try to fast forward through them because I don't find that entertaining. I'm not like, ooh, I like to watch a woman be abused. Like, not at all. And I know sometimes it's a part of the story, especially if it's a revenge movie. A lot of those movies from the 70s and 80s, like they have that scene. Like, I Spit on Your Grave comes to mind. Last House on the Left is another from back then that, have these like women revenge films. Miss 45. But they have to have that scene in the movie first to get to the point where the woman can have their revenge. And I'm just like, I mean, like, I understand, and I don't tell, it's not, I'm never about censorship. So you film, you shoot the movie you want, you do what you want, even if, again, like intergender wrestling, like it's not my thing, but people want to do it, that's fine. I just think that this is, whenever you're doing that kind of stuff for entertainment purposes, I always have like a real weird vibe about it. I just don't like watching that kind of thing, again, for me personally. Yeah, there are some Japanese women's wrestlers, Henry, that you are correct, that are pretty scary for sure. I think that's Kurt Angle. And that's, I think, Chris Jericho getting thrown around. I could be wrong about that. And then I don't know who this is. It looks like Chris Angle has that guy's butt in his face. He let me smush your tushy. Let me smooch that little tushy. That was a Chris Angle there. And then can't even tell who this is. I think it looks. I mean, I think it looks like Chris Benoit taking a roundhouse kick to the face. That kind of looks like actually Al Snow, but I don't think that's Al Snow. I don't know who that is. And then it's well, that's Undertaker there. Is that Undertaker? Yeah, that's Undertaker doing his American BA back then when he was doing the motorcycle gimmick. Which I actually like that gimmick. That's like the one time you get to see him kind of have personality. When he was the dead man, Undertaker. I liked him as I always liked him as a wrestler, but you really couldn't connect with the guy. I mean, he walked out, he's supposed to be dead or a zombie or whatever he's supposed to be, and he just was like, rest in peace. And I'm like, man, nah, I don't think so. I mean, no denying how much of a great worker he was in the ring, but there we got Road Dogg taking one to the face. It looks like from Undertaker. Again, these are stickers, guys. So Garrett sent these to me. Then we got Undertaker slamming Kane. That's Kane right there, his brother from another mother, maybe because it's Paul Bearer's son, I guess, if I'm not mistaken. So there you go. We got there, and then this is the bottom part. I mean, how strong do you have to be? I mean, I know Undertaker's a huge dude. He's like, what, 6'7", something like that? To pick up a guy who's as tall as you, if not a little bit taller, but definitely heavier, picking up with like basically one hand and then choke slamming him. Pretty awesome in my book. And then we got Undertaker knocking over Kane outside the ring. I like that. I dig it. He dig it. We can dig it. Oh, here's another one of Undertaker choke slamming Kurt Angle. So there you go. Kurt Angle, man, dude. I mean, seriously, Kurt Angle is probably not. I don't think he's underrated, but I don't think he gets enough love as he does. I mean, dude, he had no problem making a fool of himself. I never forget when he got in when everybody's supposed to be wearing cowboy hats on that Steve Austin, Stone Cold, promo, and he had that little bitty, little kids, little doll cowboy hat that's probably like this big. It was just sitting on top of his head. He's like, "Hey guys!" It's like, oh my gosh, it's unbelievable. Yeah, Kane is a mayor in Knoxville, somewhere in Tennessee, I think. ODB. Are you talking about Old Dirty BIT from TNA? Because I'm actually friends with her on Facebook. Really, her real friend, not the wrestler, gimmick page, but her real name's Jessica. If that's what you're talking about, Jessica. Yeah, her and I are actually friends on Facebook. We talked a little bit back and forth. Yeah, if you're talking about that ODB, I like ODB. She's awesome, dude. And you're right. She definitely probably knocked somebody's teeth out in real life, I bet. She is not one I want to mess with. She's one of the few wrestling ladies that I feel like if she got in a real fight, she'd probably about knock anybody out. For sure. She knocked me out. But that's not saying much. I'm a big powder puff. I'm a big pansy. That tiny hat thing is hilarious. So we got Kane again. I look like he's he's throwing somebody off of him with blonde hair. But again, we got some side view here. I don't know what's going on with that. And then we have somebody doing a somersault or a handstand onto somebody else, and I can't really make it out. And I think that's Matt Hardy. I think that's Matt Hardy right there. Doing a leg drop, doing the old Hulk Hogan leg drop. Yeah, she could do a lot of damage. Yeah, she's been showing back up in TNA. She was on there off and on for about 2 or 3 months, and then she's kind of left again. I think she's probably on a pay per month or pay per appearance with TNA. It seems like I know that she has her her grill truck that she does, like her own grilling business at a food truck. She's originally from Minnesota, but she lives in Florida now, I think. You know, you're not going to do much grilling in the middle of the winter in Minnesota, so obviously Florida makes more sense. Plus, Minnesota's like, you know, a complete hellhole now. So I don't blame her not want to be there. She wants to probably be somewhere where she can freely live her life and not be like, having to deal with the nonsense up there. So she's down in Florida now. And I mean, who doesn't want, Florida, Minnesota, like who wouldn't want that option? I would definitely be in Florida too. But anyways, she posted recently, apparently people have been screwing her over. Like some of these organizations are like, these events, they'll ask her to come out to the event to her to put up her food truck, and then she shows up and the event gets canceled. They don't tell her, or they take her money and they tell her to show up, and then they end up not having anyone showing up, or they don't promote it and no one shows up and no one knows about it, so they don't want to give her back her money, and she drives on the other side of the state. So it sounds like there's been some problems with that. But I like her a lot. She's a great lady. I enjoy her. She's pretty awesome. She seems trying to stay a pretty positive person. She seems like some normal gal. We're the exact same age. I think she may. Obviously, almost everyone's older than me. Was born in '78 because I was born the last day of '78. So you don't get much more last minute than that. Here's another one. Here, just have some legs and a penis, basically. We got some more strappy young legs there. Then we got just an apron for the WWF. Here we go. I figured it was The Rock. That looked like The Rock's junk in that picture. Not that I know what Rock's junk looks like. I just kind of looked like it with him and the old dead man there. It looks like Undertaker like really in pain of that picture. He's like, ugh. So for a man who doesn't really sell too much for other wrestlers, that was a pretty good sell. Excuse me. yeah, she used to be bartender. Just by seeing the way she interacts, I don't know. Like I like her. She's definitely like an on the ground grappler type. She's not a high flyer or anything like that. I like her. She has a cool gimmick. She comes in there with her flask and kind of like a dude rag on her head, all like her hair pulled up, and she got her like jean jacket on or whatever, and then jean like short type stuff, and she definitely has kind of like an old 50s vibe thing going for her. I like her. Of course, I think she's a good looking woman, but I definitely know that she ain't. I definitely know she can take care of business. Here we got The Rock throwing Undertaker. I'm sorry, Dwayne Johnson throwing Mark Calloway. So there you go. We got Triple H with like Chris Jericho in the sleeper. And then here we got The Rock giving somebody the rock bottom. All right. Yeah, I'm glad you appreciated my reference to Rocky's junk, which I think is fun. Honestly, when you're the magazine company or the sticker company making these stickers, why would you decide to think it's a good idea to cut one of these stickers where you only have a picture of the dude's junk in the middle of the picture of the sticker? Like, it's not like it's in the background. It's not like it's off to the side. It's not like there's other stuff going on. It's like literally just his waist down, and all you see is his junk like right there in the picture. I'm like, why would you cut it that way? Why would you not say, let's cut this in a different way where you get the whole image of the guy, or like he's throwing the guy or something? Like, at least there's something going on instead of it just a picture of the dude's penis right in your face. It doesn't make much sense, or does it? I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. We got Triple H there. Head's covered, but junk's uncovered. Then there's Triple H giving somebody the pedigree. which I think is a really cool move. I know other people do variations of this move, the pedigree there, but I really like that move. I think it looks cool. It has good aesthetic. Like when you see somebody getting that pedigree put on them, I'm like, oh yeah. They're probably not kicking out of that. Another Triple H body shot. Body shot off of Triple H. I think that looks like Jericho with his long, luscious locks. Right there. And this is definitely, I'm almost positive it's The Rock there. That's The Rock. Since they're kind of, it's only showing his butt, not his penis. You can't really tell for sure. And I think that looks like Triple H. He looks like a wild man, wild man from the mountaintops. And then we have Triple H and the Undertaker at, and obviously like Stephanie McMahon's in the picture there at the announcers table. Then we have Triple H as that was like a thing he was doing there during that time, and kind of he still does today. Where he's kind of when he was going by the game or the cerebral assassin, he go out and he put a big old gulp of water in his mouth and then go down to the front of the mat, get on top of the rope and then or get in front of the rope and then like spray water up in the air and spray it everywhere and shoot it up from his mouth and have it all fall back on you as he like flexes and rips and roars, Here you go. Another one of the Triple H right there. Yeah, I think they're from the junk wax era, dude. Well, I don't know. Probably not. 2001, is that considered junk wax for Wrasslin? They got William Regal. I don't even know. I think that's another William Regal body shot. There's Stone Cold. I said so. Stone Cold. The Texas rattlesnake. And then there's somebody's foot. Let me do a couple more. There's another Stone Cold Steve Austin. Look, he has Chris Benoit in this picture here. Then we have Stone Cold Steve Austin right here. It looks like it's this. Like, here we go. There you go. So there's that. Yeah, that looks right. Whoa now. We have. See, here's another one. Just somebody's butt. Just that's all you see. Their butt. It's like there's all this ring. There's all this real estate on this card, and all that you see is this guy's buttocks. Makes no sense. There's that. And then we have Chris Benoit doing the headbutt, which probably is one reason it caused him to have all the problems he was having. He was jumping off the top rope with that headbutt that he did. And then here's other Chris Benoit right here. So Chris Benoit, the Canadian, I think, crippler. That's what he went by. I can't tell. I think I don't know who that is. I think one of them might be Jericho. We got the big boss man right there taking somebody to the face. Like, he's moving around for a pretty jolly fella. So there you go, guys. All right, man. I did another stack. I got probably one more stack to go. Maybe two more. I mean, there was a lot of cards. I just kind of want to do this for kicks and giggles. Have something to do. I hope you all enjoyed watching. I'll be back on probably later on tonight, tomorrow. I'll do some more. I just had this going on. I thought I'd go live for a little bit, showing off the cards. But as you can see, we went through a nice big stack. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, you all, Chris and Henry. Really appreciate it, guys. Take care.